Oh, this is like first showcase for the prototype of my new game, called Scaedumar. Um, yeah, let's just jump in. So, right from the start, I'll just like try to show the features. There's not really gameplay, a complete gameplay yet. It's mainly really at prototype stage, and just testing different techniques, ideas, whatever, to see what fits and also get just an idea of what I really want. So the first thing is we have this kind of event system already in, so I can basically react to certain, or I can read when certain things happen. Like here, it's the start of completely new game. We get this kind of introduction. This is basically like an in-game wiki. You can use, this is run by Markdown files. It doesn't matter too much. So, but you can basically utilize linking. It gets this kind of wiki on the side where it basically shows you stuff. Uh, and there's this distinction between these kind of things that just stop the game and whatever, and you have to react to them. So this is already part of the game. So oh yeah, just begin with the graphics and what this is about. So first, okay, this is like pixel art style, top down, let's say survival simulation, but in a rather, I would say, unique way. Will show. But what's currently in on the technical side, I can have like individual sprites, position them whatever, and it's basically built into like I have structures like semi-permanent structures that are also supposed to move around, so they are not like baked into the terrain, and like things I can also move around. I have for some things already like keyframe animations, and so on. So this type of stuff. It's not in it for the character. There's only one single sprite. I have just to do the work to do the animations, like draw them, um, prepare them, whatever. Okay, so then how does this work? We have from the first view kind of I try to minimize the UI as much as possible. There's still some stuff that's just for development, so I can have this kind of readout to see, hey, this is basically that's I need to know to troubleshoot issues. I have like a really crazy in-depth development tool that's just like meant for me or for whoever wants to later. Basically, you could say this is super mod supported because I built everything like this because it's easier for me to edit and do the content in the end. But let's not dive into this. This is a rabbit hole on its own. Just for the what the player is facing is basically like this, and it's, I think, kind of readable. You have like this kind of whatever stats. Um, you have kind of whatever single. It's all done like this typical web stuff, so you can just get this hover information. There's also a functionality in already, but not fully. It's there, but it's often just going to a default. I can have this kind of um, overlay, and then I can just click on certain things, and in the end, it's supposed to give the correct info. But here at this time, it's a bad showcase. I think there's certain buttons where this works in a way already. Not with them, um, but essentially works for nothing. I have to really check what's going on there, but it's okay. In the end, this is the functionality. You can basically turn this help mode on and then just click on everything. And it's working, it's just not linked correctly. Whatever. Um, then you have like this kind of journal thing where it just shows you these are the events that happened in any way, which you can, when you later more filter just out. Currently, there's not much. So um, yeah. Then just to get like this normal stuff moving around, if I oh yeah, okay, it's a bit slow with the video recording. You have this kind of context menu which opens up by just clicking anywhere on this terrain right now. Doesn't matter. And then you have like certain options. We have normal walking or pathfinding. It's basically, oh, here's such an event currently. This is a good. So, okay, you have this normal pathfinding. This is still like the debug presentation. This will later be done with nicer graphics, but for readability, and so it's not too bad. And you see, you can basically, if you have like everywhere's showing this typical buffer and stuff. It doesn't look so interesting here. It starts to get interesting once we, let's just move somewhere. Gets interesting when you feel like, okay, let's zoom out a little bit and get an idea of the scale. So when we zoom in, we see like, okay, there's all this kind of typical detail what you expect from this kind of style gameplay. But there's a catch here. You zoom out and it basically slowly starts to fade away these kind of details. And you get of this kind of, wow, okay, bigger looking map. You can move around freely. It's easy to kind of also get kind of huge in terms of, okay, well, where am I? So we have a jump to player button, so you can just okay, there I am. And now it starts to make a little bit more sense. This is more about scale in these terms. It's not like you can interact on these really small scales with stuff, but in the end, it's more about having really a huge scale. Uh, and this currently is it's based on all kind of generated Terrain data. Like Terrain, base idea is this is done in world machines, not software to really create procedurally these kind of terrains. Like I can get all kind of data out of it, like height maps, slopes, wetness, water, whatever kind of things I come up with that I need from the data. So the pathfinding basically takes this into account. So that's why you get this kind of switching rules. It's all based on the terrain, basically. And then you can basically start to just move around and you see, okay, it's feeling at the scale kind of slow, and it's already like speed up by it maybe. So this is really more like, in terms of the scale, more slow game, so to say. You can speed up pretty much, so that basically we want to skip the night a little bit just to speed up through the night because it's fucking dark and you can't see anything. Still kind of visible here kind of performance issues when other processes run, like I guess the video stuff in the background. So just the first thing we have and see here, we have this kind of real-time lighting in this drawing. This is purely 2D. There's nothing rendered in any. This is any 3D. This is purely top-down autographic view. There's no kind of 3D effect in terms of rendering. And this is all like just texture manipulation, basically. So, but yeah, you can basically see how it slowly changes to get a better feel of okay, what is this really in 3D terrain. Um, Okay, so with pathfinding, we have all kind of different things here, like gathering, gather water, or whatever is in. But in the beginning, it's like okay, but I was just reading randomly. No, this is basically a bit more in depth than you see at the first glance. So right now, we visited a little bit these areas and we gathered knowledge, basically. You can view this as kind of like a fog of war in a sense, but it's not about the visibility, but it's about the knowledge I have gathered about this. And this includes things like where is water, so it's showing me, okay, this kind of areas have much or less. It's not really like more like a chance or there is a lot. It's not like that you go directly to a point to pick something up. We have the same thing for the plants currently, so it's more like a distribution map. Okay, there's a lot, and it's not like individual things. Um, you have basic information like height, or it's not so useful when you just start because you just don't see so much, but it's like this typical height maps in the end or for the slopes. So you see, okay, wow, here's really hard to get up. Most likely I have to curve a lot. So it's kind of expensive in terms of resources to get up there. Way easier to try to get in these more flat regions. So this kind of stuff. And then there's one last kind of resource that's looks a little bit strange in the beginning. This is kind of simulation for like animals that leave a scent. So it's not like currently it looks like there are really things moving around, but it's not really, I have to do a little bit more filtering there to make this regions not so stand out. It's not that you really have these different agents there, so it's more like you have this kind of map, like you say, okay, here it's smelling a little bit more, here a little bit less, so you can try to follow this kind of trails, and when you have a really high concentration, so like let's, for example, move down kinda here so that we get this radius in a way. Oh, they already moved away a little bit. But then you basically just start this kind of hunting. And then he has basically a radius where he just checks around and oh, he also found something. So if we found something, we get debuffs, not debuffs, debuffs. So there's also a system that's in already. You can get these kind of status effects that affect you in positive or negative ways, like this typical thing. And there's one important thing, like this is tracked individually, so this is only something the player can really uncover at this point, while or it's individual from this. So basically you have, oh, it's better to show off. You have also thing in where you possess animals. So this is here in this way we try to possess a bird. So of course we first have to wait that the bird comes into our radius. We can't possess. Oh, okay, there a couple of them appeared. So we have this kind of bird flock simulation. Here you see the keyframes already working. So and I can now just say like, okay, I possess one of them. And we can speed up a little bit. And now we basically view through their eyes, so everything they see now, we also get knowledge about. So when it's dark, it's like a smaller area that we can see, and so on. Mm, yeah, here at the end, it's I still have to work a little bit on this. Basically, I have this kind of extended area around it just for the visuals, so it doesn't stop immediately. It is zoomed in range. It's not very nice, but because there's some details missing, but in a zoomed out, it works already pretty well. Um, yeah, anyway, so after a while, there's later there will be some kind of restriction how long we can do this, but right now we can do this endlessly, so we just basically stop here. we are back to our character, and now we can just zoom out and see, oh wow, now we suddenly know a lot about here is the bird, where the bird was flying. We know a lot more information about these. And oh, here we, I don't know why there was, oh, most likely they were just to show this off differently shown, or I think there's like a cutoff actually. So the thing with the knowledge map is it's not like you uncover it once and then it's done. It's more like it's constantly degrading, so you lose all the time the knowledge about the land. You have to constantly uncover. It's not super fast, so it's not like you are constantly in the blind. You can uncover a lot to certain degrees. Yeah, these kind of systems. But for the tracks, we still only don't know for the sound noise. So we see here it changed already a little bit. So this is a constant moving simulation, so to say, which covers the whole map. So here, when we zoom out, we see this effect a little bit. So the actual playable area is like this, and then you have this kind of fading out continuation. Yeah. So, this is some of the stuff that's in. Let's see what else. We have an inventory system already, so we got some stuff from the hunt. Okay, so we can already like drop things down. Let's see where we are. Ah, here. So we basically dropped this thing down. This is still not. This is like still debug. Traffic, so that doesn't matter too much. Um, and they persist basically in the language, so if I move away, this stuff still stays there. If I'm far away, I can't access this, and once I start moving closer, at least that's how it's currently done. Um, we can access it again. You have this kind of interaction with the stuff already in. So you get, for example, here you can drink and then your hydration goes up, or when you have some gathering from the plants, you can eat stuff like this. Um, yeah. So this is, I think, everything that's gameplay. Oh, we have the status stuff here, but this is currently not really so useful. It's just a preparation for later that we can have this kind of little informations, labor to whatever, when something happens. Um, and just to show off a little bit behind the scenes, which not really going in depth into everything doesn't make sense, but just to show off a little bit to understand how the system or what the system tries to do. So we can overlay this kind of debug maps. So this is like all this kind of maps. I'm using left side maps, slopes, wetlands, where the rivers are. Um, we have flow information. So for the river, we have an actual flow that follows the lines, and in theory, I could also put like stuff in here and simulate that it's getting transported down, things like that. We have this detail thing. So this is actually something I'm really Oh, that's kind of. So this is like a normal texture, like color texture, normal maps, whatever, this kind of stuff to produce this. And normally you would basically go in, and then at some point it gets very pixelized and that's it. So, and here is basically that at some point these terrain pixels that are now really big, gets this kind of detail information, which is like extra texture and so on. What's going on with my frame rate? I think it's still from the video recording. It's kind of strange. It's not the best PC I have. So okay, but there's also kind of this stuff like, let's see what this is. Um, yeah, this is for the slime. Here you see basically, I think also the slime simulation or the data this is based on. So these, they try to eat the green stuff. This is the row, the slopes, they don't like it, basically. And then you have certain rules how to follow them. It's based on a slime simulation, actually, but I treat it differently. Um, this is also not really part of a classical slime simulation, but it interacts in this way with the environment. Um, yeah, here you can overlay the actual slime, like you can show the actual slime film it, so without covering it. So, and then you can see how this stuff basically behaves a little bit better. You can see them, this is really speed up, but you can see they kind of move around, forming this kind of natural patterns that still, um, yeah, move certain. It's feeling in game. It's more like, okay, they go to an area, deplete it, move to the next area, deplete it. You can hunt them. If you hunt them, they spread out again. So you have to constantly move around to gather this resource. So basically, that's the idea behind this. Um, yeah, this is kind of interesting. This is the fog of war, basically, so to say. This is where we started. That's where there was some background noise already to show off certain effects. Um, and oh yeah, this is basically the pathfinding stuff. What else? What we use for the knowledge? Tutorial. I have no idea what this is. Let's see. It's lagging again. Um, this is just for where these structures are placed. Okay, yep. So that reminded me about one thing. So if you try to do pathfinding now, see it's wow, there's not really um, much space. Oh, I just have to slow down here. I was running on 100 speed. So then it's clear that it's like uh, really at the edge. So, and then you have like, okay, but I want to go like over there. So what's the bit route here? And the pathfinding, what's done here, this would be way too expensive to do at the scale. So I do a little trick there. This is like a special mode. And in this special mode, you get like a simplified kind, a cheaper kind of pathfinding. And right now I can go everywhere, but basically the area you currently see grayed out, faded out a little bit, is basically not accessible. So I think I don't have this check for the knowledge. And basically, I always have to check where exactly I. Oh no, it's under pathfinding. Let me check. It's pathfinding, it's the navigation, and there I can say, hey, my knowledge cutoff is basically a little bit higher, and then suddenly I can only plan through these routes that I know about. So not in these more. But for showing off, this is a little bit bad because I don't want to uncover everything now. So what I can do here is basically I can plan a route. This is like, okay, I set certain points, I extend from this point because I want to visit another region, or maybe I say, hey, but I want to do like this kind of network for playing. So you have these things and you get these kind of overlays. Um, that basically show you roughly the direction. So once I turn this planning mode off, I can in my inspection say, hey, show me these overlays I created. And then it's easier even when you don't have this much of range here, it's easier to roughly follow the pattern where you know, okay, roughly this is the better path than try to go this way or something. Yeah. So I think for now that's it. Yeah, water simulation is definitely a thing I still have to work on. It's kind of okay, but it's done way too expensive, and um, but it's okay. It's looking fine for now. Um, let's check out the birds for a moment because this is actually a nice simulation on its own. There's still nothing. Mm, the birds are currently a little bit hard to find because at scale they're actually not so visible, which is kind of okay. So there's actually a ton of agents on the way, but you actually have to find them a little bit. It's easier when things. Oh, here we have quite a big field. So you say this kind of this is like a swarm simulation, this kind of swarming behavior. Um, there's also a nice thing, this kind of color variations. It's done through lookup tables. Some tiny little bugs here with the animation system, but still okay. So, but if you look at this at a bigger scale, with you see this kind of more typical swarm behavior. So they flop around, and there's also this kind of predator and prey system inbuilt. Like I'm having hawks that hunt them, and then it's this kind of when hawk comes, they try to get away, so they're spreading out in directions. If it happens, like most of the time, it's just you do your stuff and you see them flying around or you interact with them through this kind of procession mechanic right now, but that's it. But currently, it's more like building all these ground systems and make them in a way that they can interact a lot. So the trail producing agents, they eat the grass also that you want, and the water is basically affecting how fast the grass can regrow. So there's kind of an interaction between these systems already. But yeah, so I think, well, that's it. Enough for nice overview over my new project.